Awesome. There is a waiting room down on the pier if you guys wanted to head down there now, or just wait around up here, and you guys are good to head down at for 3:30 for the gate number 2.
Gate number 2, right?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Good morning, guys. We're going in a boat. How are you? How your day going on? And like and subscribe to my channel. And tell me, where are you? And you're my biggest fan. London boat.
I'll tell you when the next one's going. Thank you.
And my sister and my dad decided. Going to enter the boat, they're checking our ticket. Look at this beautiful London Tower and it's a long queue and we need to go in the boat. You're waiting. Look at this view. And this is so beautiful. London, baby. Let's go quick in the boat, quick. Dad! I'm not scared. I'm the first. I needed this. 3, 2, 1, we are in now, and this is the thing. We can see every place and the water, and it's upstairs too, and downstairs is the chair, the clean chairs, and on the top is chair is wet, and I'm sitting down, and my sister is staying down, and my baby sitting down, and joining the boat, and it is so much fun, and this is the view, and the buildings and the water. So many long and big buildings. And I'm going to say these are mine. I'm going upstairs. I love the upstairs. This is the upstairs and mine.
Standing on the upper deck as well.
There's so much people sitting in the wet chairs. Everybody's taking pictures. This is the biggest in the whole world. And I love the top or the bottom. I like both of them because I can see every place, and and downstairs is not wet. This is the best day in my life. Really good and very amazing, and we see everything around and the clouds. And look at these clouds and the clock, big tower. And I'm going down still for the stairs, and
On the bridges as we pass underneath every single one. It's the only time in London you can wave at a stranger and get
Dad, my baby, and my sister, she's down.
if anyone does wave back to you today, they're definitely not from London. Any smiling face. Lots of people out and about here taking their selfies. I'm sure you can guess what with in the background.
We are going faster now, and this is
All by talking about this very grand building to our right, the new Palace of Westminster. During that fire, the citizens of London all gathered along the other side of the river, not to help, but instead to watch and chant, "Burn Parliament, burn." One man was even arrested for today. But after that fire, we had to have a new home for Parliament, the one you see today. It was designed by a man named Charles Barry in the Gothic style of architecture, and it was completed around 1860. The tallest tower on the building, the one with the Union flag above it, is the Victoria Tower. That was originally the royal entrance into the building. It's now home to the parliamentary records. That means we've got written records of almost every law from kept inside. I'm hearing some of you say, well, I have to tell you, that is wrong. The tower is not called Big Ben. I know, what a shock plot twist. I did hear the correct answer over here. Who said it? Elizabeth Tower, well done, smartest person on the boat. The name Big Ben is of course just the name of the 13-ton bell inside the Elizabeth Tower. Now we think that name Big Ben comes from a man named Benjamin Hall. He was the chief commissioner of the works when the bell was installed. Apparently Benjamin was a very loud, round-shaped man who was not very nice to his workers, and they all decided to name their very loud, round-shaped bell after him. Let's just be grateful his name wasn't Richard, which was eventually completed in 2022. Once the restoration was complete, all the workers on it were very tired. But then again, they'd been working around the clock. The jokes are not going to get any better, by the way, just to warn you all there. But now, I will take some time to talk to you about my employer. TheLastMinute.com London Eye. Standing at 135 metres high, this is the world's tallest cantilevered observation wheel. Cantilevered means it's supported on just one side, and this is an observation wheel as the pods are on the outside of it. Not a Ferris wheel. Very upset when I use the F word. The Eye has 32 pods, one for each borough of Greater London. But don't be confused if you find yourself on pod 33. That's because we've removed pod 13 to reassure any superstitious guests. The Eye was designed by Marks and Barfield Architects, and the design was originally entered into a competition that was held to find a new landmark to celebrate the millennium. And the design for the London Eye came in second place. However, British Airways liked the design so much that they offered to fund it themselves. It cost them about £75 million to build, but made that profit back within the first 2 years. The next bridge we are approaching is the Hungerford Bridge. Waterloo Bridge gets the nickname of the Ladies' Bridge. It was built during World War II, And while all the men were away fighting, the workforce that built this bridge was almost entirely female. It also happens to be the first and only bridge in London to be built on time and under budget. Waterloo Bridge is also the inspiration for the song Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. The view from this bridge really is beautiful as the sun sets over the city, and that's what inspired the song. To our right, electronic screen above it, this is buildings on the South Bank picture. King Charles once described that building as looking like a nuclear power station. I don't think he's a massive fan of brutalism. I must admit I am rather fond of it, despite its arguably rather ugly and 3 beautiful theatres. And you can see loads of award-winning shows there, often before they get a West End or Broadway transfer, and usually at a much cheaper price. So it's always a great...
Look at these really good 2 steps, and this is the round is the big buildings, and I like the big buildings.
...on in London at the moment. A little further ahead, you'll see a red... The one you see today was designed by one of Britain's most acclaimed architects. The year. And it was originally supposed to have a 60-foot pineapple at the very top. At the time, pineapples were due to how rare and exotic they were. In those days, a pineapple would have cost you the equivalent of £5,000 in today's money. So Christopher Wren wanted to stick one here, but someone else must have stepped in to stick a giant piece of fruit on top of our cathedral, and so they settled for that more traditional cross instead. But just to the left of the dome, you can see 2 towers with golden shapes at the top. Those golden shapes are, in fact, pineapples, so he did manage to sneak them in there. But more on St Paul's Cathedral once we're through these bridges. These are the Blackfriars bridges, and we've got 2 bridges here. We didn't. Instead, he amassed so much gold that he was able to clear England's national debt. Queen Elizabeth I was very grateful to show you sometimes private days. Captain on the Golden Line today. They currently run an escape room on there. It's called Escape the Golden Line. It's loads of great fun. Very briefly to our left here, between these buildings, you'll see a tall stone column with a golden shape at the top. That is the monument. It's another design by Sir Christopher Wren, and it was built after the Great Fire of London to serve as a monument to the fire. You can still go to the top of the monument today. It's got 311 steps. There's no lift, but the views from the top are excellent. I like to say it's also a monument to the Great Fire because by the time you get to the top, your thighs will be burning. Now, it is time for the thing you have all come here to see today, I'm sure. The magnificent, world-famous London Bridge. The magnificent, world-famous London Bridge is directly behind us. We just went underneath it. Yep, that rather dull concrete bridge behind you all is London Bridge. The bridge ahead of us is Tower Bridge. But don't worry if you get them mixed up. Even Google gets it wrong. If you search online for London Bridge, it'll often just show you pictures of Tower Bridge. And also the singer, Fergie from the Black Eyed Peas. She released a solo single in 2006 titled London Bridge, but in the music video, she's twerking away on Tower Bridge. Nice one, Fergie. The thing I want to point out is a little hard to see right now as it's currently in camouflage, but if you look very closely, coming up on your right, you may be able to see an 11,500 ton battle cruiser. HMS Belfast played a really significant part during World War II. It assisted in sinking German battleship the Scharnhorst, and it was one of the first ships to fire at the D-Day landings. These guns in the front can fire a distance of 12 miles, and they keep those guns permanently positioned today.
Look at these people saying bye-bye to us.
Patchwood. Exactly why they do that, we're not entirely sure, but they really are pointed that way. After the war, but the Imperial War Museum offered to buy it instead, offering a grand sum of one of the most impressive forts. The Conqueror in 1066. It's had many functions without me in it. Just once again, please do stay in your seats. That means everyone around in the middle can rise up and open to allow large ships to pass through. In its opening year, these bascules would have opened around 6,000 times within the 1 year alone. They open less frequently nowadays, maybe once or twice a day if you're lucky. There is an old sailor's legend which claims if you wave to the people on Tower Bridge and receive a wave back, you'll earn 5 years good luck for the entire boat. So everyone make sure to cheer and wave as we pass through, grab their attention, earn us all some good luck. Hello! You all. But that's a real Edwardian legend. As sailors were leaving the city, this is the last year's time, they'd still be here to welcome them back. This here where you've got your photo opportunity of the day. That's right.
This is the beautiful bridge in the world.
The Tower of London has had many functions over the past millennia. It's been a royal mint, an observatory, a zoo, armory, palace, and most notoriously, remember the 16 to treat to the Traitor's Gate over an old designed by Italian architect Renzo Piano. 95 floors to be precise. Inside the Shard, they've got offices, bars, restaurants, the 5-star. This was Old Londonian. We later had medieval stone bridge on the site. We then had Victorian London Bridge there up until the 1960s, at which point we noticed it was starting to sink. Unfortunately, a man named Robert McCulloch, an American gentleman, offered to buy London Bridge from us. He claimed he was very fond of Victorian London Bridge, so he was Arizona, USA. You can go see the real Victorian London Bridge. Dampers were installed. They even got help from engineers at NASA, and they eventually managed to remove that wobble. The bridge reopened in 2002, and although its promoters intended for it to look like a blade of light across the city, it now just keeps the name. Perhaps most famously, it features in Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, where it gets destroyed right at the beginning of the film. And the roof of the station is entirely covered with solar panels, which I'm sure you've all been dying to find out the mystery behind them. Well, let me tell you. Those columns once held up the St Paul's Bridge, which was built to hold the London to Chatham and Dover steam railway line. The bridge was built in 1885, and St Paul's Bridge, actually the bridge had to be removed, and it was replaced by the 2 new Blackfriars bridges on either side. However, as they were removing the old bridge, they realised that those columns were so firmly embedded in the river, the only way to remove them would be by using dynamite. However, dynamite would have likely destroyed the brand new bridges which had just been built on either side, and they did not want to do that. So instead, they decided the best thing to do would be to paint the cocker. Now, you might be finding it rather cold out on the river today, I know I sure am, but it used to get much colder than this. In fact, there are at least 20 recorded occasions where this entire section of the Thames completely froze over for the winter. Now, the Thames has always been our main source of transport through the city, so when it froze over, it put huge amounts of businesses out of work. Some of those businesses decided to try and make their money back by setting up stalls. The last Frost Fair was in 1814, and it was a huge event. You could buy all sorts of things for Christmas. They made hot food, they made gingerbread and sold it on the ice. We even had lots of entertainment. We actually had an elephant walk the length of a frozen Thames to prove how stable it was. I'm sure it would have been incredible.
Like and subscribe. This is the end of this. So like and subscribe a lot. And hit that subscribe button and give me 100 views and 200 and 400, and you are my biggest million views. Please, please.
Gift from Egypt to London in 1819 as a thank you for our help at the Battle of the Nile. I will repeat that. It is a gift. It's the one bit of Egyptology in London that we did not steal. Apparently, Egypt were originally going to give us one of their pyramids, but they would only give it to us on the condition that we took the pyramid apart, sell each part to 6 different countries. Each of those countries would then have to sell their part to 6 more countries, and so on and so forth.
And you're my biggest fan. Please take a comment. I will love it. Thank you for liking my videos. And let me check how many of you subscribe. So much! Oh my god. You're my biggest fan right now.
They do loads of great special events on the London Eye. They offer private champagne experiences. Embarrassing. Now lastly, if you have enjoyed the tour today, on TripAdvisor or on a feedback machine on the pier. We love hearing all of
And we're getting now for the ship, and bye bye. This is the great thing in the world. See you. Woo. Hit that subscribe button, like and subscribe to my video. Quick, quick, quick. You subscribe.